Okay, so what is the next chapter? Okay, so we'll start reading. Somebody can read. Anybody is familiar with this shloka? They can read it. Guys, I'll read. Please repeat after me. Utsaha nichaya dhairyat
Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat
tattat karma pravartanat
tatat karma pravartanat
sangatyagat sato vritte
sangatyaga satovritti
shadbir bhakti prasidhyati
shadbir bhakti prasiddhyati
utsaha nichaya dhairyat
Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat
tattat karma pravartanat
tatat karma pravartanat
sangatyagat sato vritte
sangatyaga satovritti
shadbir bhakti prasidhyati
shadbir bhakti prasidhyate
utsaha nichaya dhairyat
Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat
tattat karma pravartanat
tatat karma pravartanat
sangatyagat sato vritte
sangatyaga satovritti
sadbir bhakti prasidhyati.
sadbir bhakti prasidhyate.
Okay, so and we can continue. Somebody can read the translation.
Prabhuji, which shloka from Bhagavad Gita, isn't it?
No, this is from Nectar of Instruction.
Okay.
Upadeshamrita. Yeah.
Okay. I will read, Prabhuji.
Okay.
There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. First, being enthusiastic. Second, enduring with confidence. Third, being patient. Fourth, acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. Hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Fifth one, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And sixth one, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. One should accept this opportunity to return home, back to Godhead, very enthusiastically. um, Without enthusiasm, one cannot be successful. Even in the material world, one has to be very enthusiastic in his particular field of activity in order to become successful. A student, businessman, artist, or anyone else who wants success in his line must be enthusiastic. Similarly, one has to be very enthusiastic in devotional service. Enthusiasm means action, but action for whom? The answer is that one should always act for Krishna, 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 Krishnartha Kila Chesta. Correct, Purush? Krishnartha,
Krishnartha Akila Chesta. Krishnartha.
Krishnartha Akila Chesta. Bhakti Rasamrta Sindhu. Whether to continue.
Yeah, some other devotee can continue.
Yeah.
Sushil Prabhu, can you read?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Bhaji. I'll continue.
Yes, Prabhu.
In all phases of life, one has to perform devotional activities under the direction of spiritual master in order to attain perfection in Bhakti Yoga. It is not that one has to confine or narrow one's activity. Krishna is all pervading. Therefore, nothing is independent of Krishna. As Krishna himself stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtinam matashthani sarvabhutani nanachaham
Na chaham.
teshva
Na chaham tesha avastita.
nanachaham न चाहम तेषा अवस्थितः. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, one has to make everything favorable for Krishna's service. For example, at present we are using dictaphone. The materialist who invented this machine intended it for businessmen or writes or
Sorry, Baba.
writers of
Yeah.
mundane subjects matter. He certainly never thought of using the dictaphone in God's service, but we are using this dictaphone to write Krishna conscious lectures. Of course, the manufacture of dictaphone is wholly within the energy of Krishna. All the parts of an instrument, including the electronic function, are made from different combination and interaction of the five basic types of material energy, namely Bhumi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, and Akash. The inventor used his brain to make this complicated machine, and his brain, as well as the ingredients, were supplied by Krishna. According to the statement of Krishna, Mata Stani Shrava Bhutani.
Sarva
Bhagavad
Bhutani.
Gita, Mata Stani Shrava Bhutani. Bhagavad Gita 9.4. Everything is depending on my energy. Thus, the devotee can understand that since nothing is independent of Krishna's energy, everything should be de, uh, dovetailed in his service.
Dovetailed.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, dovetailed. Thank you, Baba. Hare Krishna. Next paragraph. Hare Krishna. Can somebody read? Jita Mataji, you would like to read this next two paragraphs?
Yes, Prabhuji. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called utsaha or enthusiasm. The devotees find the correct means by which everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. The execution of devotional service is not a matter of idle meditation, but practical action in the foreground of spiritual life. Hare Krishna. You want me to continue?
Yeah, you can read next paragraph also, Mataji.
These activities must be executed with patience. One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Indeed, this Krishna consciousness movement was started single handedly, and in the beginning there was no response. But because we continue to execute our devotional activities with patience, people gradually began to understand the importance of this movement, and now they are eagerly participating. One should not be impatient in discharging devotional service, but should take instructions from the spiritual master and execute them with patience, depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The successful execution of Krishna consciousness activities requires both patience and confidence. A newly married girl naturally expects offspring from her husband, but she cannot expect to have them immediately after marriage. Of course, as soon as she is married, she can attempt to get a child, but she must surrender to her husband, confident that her child will develop and be born in due time. Similarly, in devotional service, surrender means that one has to become confident. Uh, the devotee thinks, Avasya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will surely protect me and give me help for the successful execution of devotional service. This is called confidence. Extract from Nectar of Instruction, text 3. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll start actually. We'll read this paragraph, first page. Okay, the sloka is there, and then the translation. Maybe I'll just keep it like this. Okay, so please read. Actually, I'll just come in just a minute. Okay, so please by that time you can read it. Actually, this part.
Hare Krishna. Can this be scrolled down?
Hare Krishna Mataji, you want this PDF Mataji?
Can this be scrolled down? Nivedita Mataji?
Prabhuji is sharing Mataji.
Acha, because
Yeah, I scrolled already. I scrolled down. Can you hear me? Krishna?
yes, Prabhuji.
I scrolled down now. Now I scroll. Is it okay?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Once everybody is done, you can let us know. Let me know. Reading. Done, devotees? Krishna? Anybody is not read completely? Am I audible, devotees? Krishna?
Yeah,
Yes,
Prabhuji. Just last paragraph is remain. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Sushil Prabhu done?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, just finished. Yeah.
Any devotees? Anybody else has not completely read? Nivedita Mataji?
Done, Prabhuji.
Okay. Satya Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay. Chetan Prabhu is not there, no? Chetan Prabhu has left, I think, right?
He just left, Prabhuji.
Just left, Prabhuji.
Okay, I think he has some another Bhakti Vriksha, I think. We'll join after some time. I have to join BG class. Hare Krishna. Mataji and Prabhuji. Okay, let us then start our discussion. Okay. So actually, this topic we have discussed earlier. Now, whoever has been attending for long, I think this shloka also we discussed from Nectar of Instruction. So I think Nivedita Mataji is familiar with shloka, right?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Actually, I attended might be in the class, but I forgot about the sloka.
Even our Sushil Prabhu has also attended. Yeah, not a problem. Let us start actually. So in the first paragraph, what are the important points? It's very straightforward actually. There are 6 things which are mentioned, right? Somebody can explain that or just tell the points. Maybe it's explained in the subsequent paragraph, so we can just list what are the topics discussed here.
Prabhuji said here that for a devotional service to be successful, uh, 6 principles are required. First is being enthusiastic. Second is you should have confidence. Third is patient. These 3 are explained in this part 1. Then the fourth one is acting according to regulative principles, and fifth one is not associating with the non-devotees, and sixth one is following the footsteps of the earlier acharyas. If you
Yes.
follow these 6, then our devotional service will be pure and perfect. Hare Krishna.
Right. Yes, Mataji. Thank you. So that's the first paragraph is basically just translation. What has been mentioned in this shloka. So it is mentioned Utsaha Nishaya Dhairya Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyaga Sadhovrite Sadbir Bhakti Prasiddhidi. So there is one important point we have discussed earlier, that in this shloka and the next shloka, one part repeats. So what are the 6 things which are favorable, which are we listed in this shloka? And in the next shloka, there are 6 things which are unfavorable to devotional service. But there is one element which is repeated in both favorable and unfavorable. Anybody knows what it is? Any guess? Not exactly it is repeated, but that particular topic is there actually. No, one it is told in a positive way, and other one it is told in a negative way in the same thing.
Prabhuji, is it accepting a spiritual master? It talks
Not,
about the acharyas, no?
no,
Footsteps
no,
of...
no, not Mataji. So in this particular shloka, it is mentioned in negative way. So then you can guess actually.
So I think
Association of
Prabhuji, this is about
non-devotees, no?
yeah.
Not
Yes, right. So it is telling here that you should give up the association of non-devotees.
yeah.
Okay, so if you go to the next one, right, or is it no? I think there was part 2. Go to things which are here. You say Atyahara Prayasasya Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangasya Laulyam Cha Shadbir Bhaktir Vinashadi. So here Janasanga is mentioned. Okay, so Janasanga actually is association of non-devotees. Okay, so an association of non-devotees is unfavorable for devotional service. It has to be rejected. And in the first one, which are favorable, also it is mentioned that to avoid association of non-devotees is something which is favorable for devotional service. So if you associate, then it will become unfavorable. No, and then if you that's why. So it is mentioned in both things which are to be done. So from that we have to understand that it's very important thing actually. So that's why it's emphasized again in 2 places. Anyway, so that is clear, I think. So now let's go to the next paragraph. Okay, let us see what is mentioned here in the next paragraph. What are the important points? So what does enthusiasm means? No, somebody can explain. What is explained here?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. The word
Yes.
Utsahan stands for enthusiasm,
Yeah.
and uh, unless we are enthusiastic, one cannot be successful. Even in the material world, whether one is a student, a businessman, or an artist, whatever is done with enthusiasm, only then one can be successful. So, what
Yes.
does enthusiasm mean in devotional service? It means that it means action, and one should always act for Krishna. And for that, that's given there, Krishna Artha Akhila Cheshta. I just checked it out. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22.126.
Okay.
Krishna Artha, for the sake of Krishna. Akhila Cheshta, all activity. So everything should be around the Lord.
Okay.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji. But here it is mentioned as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, not Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I don't know. We need to see why it
No,
is.
I just put those
Oh,
words in
it is
the.
possible. No, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it would have been in the purport. It is then Prabhupada might have quoted from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu
Okay.
in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. So that possibility is there.
Yes, could be, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I just.
But essentially, the idea is clear, right? What is the main? So
Yes.
what is enthusiasm? What do you think? Why enthusiasm is required? Somebody can explain. If you're not enthusiastic, what is the problem?
You won't do anything, Prabhuji. You won't act.
Yeah.
You just sit where you are, not wanting, not no progress at all. So what
Yes.
makes you act is enthusiasm, utsaha.
Yes. Right. So enthusiasm, that's what Prabhupada is saying. No? So in material life also we can understand that without enthusiasm, if somebody is lazy, no, and then doesn't want to put any endeavor for attaining anything, then actually nothing will happen actually. Right? It won't be any progress. So similarly, enthusiasm is something which is very important actually. Otherwise, actually the problem without enthusiasm thing is that no, we will give up, right? Give up the things after some time. No? We don't have that what you call willpower, no, whatever it is, that actually drive to actually make progress. So yeah, because this is not a very no short, not a short journey, right? This is a spiritual path. It's a long, it's a long way to go. And then if you don't have enough like battery, or enthusiasm, then naturally, you will not be able to make progress. So if somebody doesn't have enthusiasm, right? What can we do about it?
Give prasadam, Prabhuji.
Hmm. Yeah, that is of course prasadam will purify. So you mean to say, Mataji, that you will give prasadam to a person who is not enthusiastic? Is that right?
So sorry, Prabhuji. We told not to force anyone, no?
Right, right. I'm just asking. So let's say we don't have enthusiasm, then what we will do? We'll just take prasadam.
To make prasadam, unless we have enthusiasm, we can't make prasadam also, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So
Anybody's
one should be involved in different services.
Huh?
yeah. Anybody actually he is the feel that like anybody feel that they don't have enthusiasm or no, everybody feel that they are enthusiastic in devotion service.
Prabhuji, I have enthusiasm, but not as much as the youngsters, Prabhuji.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I think if you are in association of devotees, you get the enthusiasm. If you
Yep.
listen, if you talk about, Krishna, automatically the enthusiasm will come. If you have
Yes.
the will, if they have the will to accept the whatever is being told to you.
Exactly, Mataji. That is a right point actually. So enthusiasm, they say, na, it's like it's so contagious, right? So when we see somebody, when you are associating with somebody who are very enthusiastic regularly, then we also will be forced to, we also will be forced to become little enthusiastic, right? So that association is very important. When we associate with devotees who are enthusiastic, then actually we will gradually, get that kind of particular quality by seeing them, right? So somebody like, for example, enthusiastic. One other way of enthusiasm is getting up early morning, right, for Mangalarti. So Mangalarti, many temple Mangalarti is done at 4:30. or some temples it's 4 o'clock. So Sheshadapuram is at 5 o'clock. In ISKCON Vrindavan or many other temples, it's like 4:30 it is, or 4:15, 4:20 like that. So suppose you are staying in the temple, right, and then you are seeing that everybody is going for Mangalarti, then actually naturally you will be forced, and in the sense you will think like, because devotees also will pull you, right? They will ask actually, oh Mataji, we didn't see you for Mangalarti, what happened? So like that actually. So basically, whether you like or not, gradually we will also start doing it, and then after some time it becomes a habit actually, right? So like that enthusiasm. So actually getting up in Mangalarti voluntarily needs some enthusiasm, because we may have to get up much earlier, right? And then like we are actually it may not be easy always to get up early in the morning, right, if you are not habituated to getting up early morning. So this is just one example, but every activity in devotional service is like that actually. So yeah, if you associate with devotees who are enthusiastic, then we get that quality. Similarly, other qualities also, like any other quality. So if you associate with such kind of devotees who are actually having that quality, then we will also get that quality. So that is why association is very, very important, right? But enthusiasm is here in the 6 topics. Enthusiasm is mentioned as one of the most important, because if you don't have the enthusiasm, then what will happen is that we'll take it for granted, right? Yeah, like chalta hai, no, why to do now? Oh, a lot of time is there. No, it's okay. One day if I don't do like that kind of mentality, if it comes, then it is very difficult actually. Then no, the progress will be very, very, very slow. So that kind of enthusiasm, if you lack, then no, then our progress will be very, very slow. Just like they say, the fire. You are trying to burn a fire, and then once in a while you put water, like that it will be. It will not it will not burn properly. So that is why this is a very, very important, most important point mentioned here is enthusiasm, because it's starting with enthusiasm. Okay, what is any question in that? If it is not, we can move forward. I think it's straightforward, I think, right? But if anybody has any question, we can discuss. Okay, let us move on. So next paragraph, somebody would like to say? What is the most important couple of points in this next paragraph? So next paragraph means, I think next 2 paragraphs we have to take together, I think, because that paragraph is continuing here. From here, then it talks about a shloka, and then the shloka is explained also. So at least we'll start with the first small paragraph. Somebody can tell what are the points in this? Today everybody is like not having enthusiasm. I think nobody is responding. Am I audible?
You're audible, Prabhuji, but I've spoken earlier, so I'm not opening my mouth, Prabhuji.
Somebody has to speak, or everybody has to speak. Yeah, when we speak only, we will get
No,
that
everyone
confidence.
should get a chance, no, Prabhuji. That way.
Yes. Okay, then I'll call names. Okay, Sushil Prabhu, what are the 2 important points in this paragraph?
So yeah, Prabhuji. So here it is mentioned that everything is source. I mean, what I understood is everything is source from Krishna only. We are just like actor, but the main enthusiasm or main energy is coming from the Krishna only. So like that, I can
Okay. One more point is there.
get perspective. Uh,
Can we perform devotional activities independently?
no, we cannot perform independently.
Then what do we need actually?
We should have I mean, yeah, under the guidance of a spiritual master only, we can execute our
Yes.
devotional service.
Yes, that is what. So there are 2 important points. One is the importance of spiritual master, right? That Satyamataji was mentioning in the beginning earlier. Like yeah, so we need a guidance, right? We need a spiritual master to guide us. So that is important, that we perform a devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master. And second, no, it is not that one has to confine or narrow one's activities. Krishna is all pervading, therefore nothing is independent of Krishna, and Krishna himself stated in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna. So this sloka actually is important sloka. No? Many times it is quoted. Maybe we can read it together. Everybody can repeat after me. Maya dadamidam sarvam
Maya
Maya
tata
tatamidam
idam
sarvam
sarvam
jagadavhyaktamurtina
jagad
jagat-avyakta-murtina
avyaktamurtina
mattani sarvabhutani
matstani
matathani
Matstani
sarvabhutani
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 न चाहं तेष अवस्थिता
न
न
चाहं
chaham
Nachaham
tesha
tesha
Teja
न
avastita
चाहं
avastita
तेष अवस्थिता मया ददमिदं सर्वं
maya
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 tatamidam
Tata
tadam
Idam
idam
Sarvam
sarvam
जगदव्यक्तमूर्तिना
jagad avyaktamurtina
jagat-avyakta-murtina
मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि
matstani
matsani
Matstani
sarvabhutani
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 न चाहं तेष अवस्थिता
न
न
चाहं
chaham
Nachaham
tesha
tesha
Teja
avastita
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 मया ददमिदं सर्वं
maya
maya tadam
tatamidam
idam
sarvam
sarvam
जगदव्यक्तमूर्तिना
jagad avyaktamurtina
jagat-avyakta-murtina
मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि
matstani
matsani
sarvabhutani
sarvabhutani
न चाहं तेष अवस्थिता
न चाहं
chaham
tesha
tesha avastita.
avastita.
Now, what are the points? Translation is mentioned, and what are the important points in the next paragraph? So, translation is only one line, right? By me, in my unmanifested form, the entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. What does it mean? Anybody want to explain this?
Can I try, Prabhuji, that word? All beings are in me, but I am not in them.
Yes, both party
We
can
are,
explain. Yeah,
we
you
are
can first. Yes,
okay.
Madhu.
Maya is by me. Then the tatamidam sarvam.
Yeah, you can just translation is fine, Madhuji. That part you
Okay,
can just what is mentioned. You can explain or elaborate little more. What does
okay.
it mean?
It just
Yeah.
says that the entire universe is pervaded by the Lord,
Mm.
okay, in his unmanifested form, and all beings are in me. That is, we are all part and parcel of the Lord. But he is, I am not in them. That is, Prabhuji, he has created everything,
Yes.
but he is not part of it. He is independent of it.
Very nice.
Correct, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes, very nice, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Everybody understood it. So also, what does it mean? Unmanifested form. What does it mean? How do you understand when the statement by me in my unmanifested form the entire universe is provided? What does it imply? Anybody wants to try? Satya Mataji, you can only tell. What is it?
My,
What is it?
that is, it is the full creation of Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. But what is unmanifested form? What does it mean?
That is his energies, is it?
Yes.
It's the energies of the Lord, no, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, right.
So,
Yes.
the energies of the Lord, the universe is fully pervaded by that, no? I mean, pervaded, full of.
Yes. Yes. Right. So it's clear to everyone?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Some of the shlokas, like, if you read Upanishads, no, then I think it will be like this. This kind of things will be there. Which actually sometimes, like people who are very intellectually inclined, they may like it. No, but it may be difficult for everybody to understand what does it mean. Sometimes basically it will mention in a way like sometimes like what you call like it may apparently look like contradictory. So in a material scenario, it is very difficult to say that all beings are in me, but I am not in them. That actually normally from materialistic understanding it's difficult to because comprehend. Normally it is not like the material world. Things are different, right? But actually because Lord is the source of everything, he can do anything as possible. So yeah, Satyamadaji correctly explained that actually. So everybody understood, right? So I don't think much more is required to explain, is it? So by me in my unmanifested form, actually, Lord is saying that see, though the Lord actually is the source of everything, right? But actually is independent of that, right? So if there are different ways of looking at it, right? So we can, somebody can ask that no, all beings are in me but I am not in them, means, but actually we can still we say that Lord as Paramatma is there in everybody, right? So how it is that he's saying he is not in me? But actually this particular context is from a different perspective it is explained that actually normal people may think that no, like then Lord is also part of this material creation. Just like no, in the jail, somebody may come, like a chief minister may come or a minister may come just to see the welfare, like how jail is going on, right? What is activities are okay, everything. So somebody who's foolish, he may think that okay, he is also a culprit or no, or a criminal. So that actually what is clarified here, right? So the Lord actually is not in them in the sense that he is not under the control of the material nature. The entire material universe is actually the Lord's external energy. We have seen that it is the Bahiranga Shakti of the Lord, right? External energy of the Lord, or the inferior energy of the Lord. So, and he is present in this material world normally for the normal people in an unmanifested form, because for a normal person, the Lord is not visible directly, right? He can only be perceived by his different multifarious energies, in various form. By his energy, he is understood actually, but he is not not directly visible. So that is why it's called as unmanifested form. In the material universe, generally, like for the normal person who actually is not a devotee, or who is not advanced in spiritual line, the Lord is not actually manifested. He is unmanifested. So that's why Lord says that in my unmanifested, the entire universe is spirit. So everything in the universe, it is mentioned like, for example, not even a blade of grass can move without the will of the Lord, right? So that way, the Lord actually is in full control of everything in the universe. But actually, he is not directly directly not supervising each and every activity, just like like we discussed many times, right? Somebody who's a very big person, right? Like Tata, Ratan Tata, or somebody, or Mukesh Ambani, whoever it is. So he will not go every day to every office and every factory and see what is happening, right? But actually he is having different representatives or different managers who actually will take care of the things, and then everything is put into motion. I mean, in the sense there are rules and things are working. Similarly, the material universe is also run by demigods, right? There are different demigods who are responsible for different parts or different aspects of the governance of the universe. So by through this agency, the Lord actually is controlling in this material world. So that's how it is. And then the second part is that we discussed already, right? All beings are in me, but I am not in them. In the sense that means that actually the Lord actually, all living entities are dependent on the Lord, but the Lord is not dependent on us. Kind of that is the way we can understand this particular context. Is that clear, devotees?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Prabhuji, correct.
Okay. Then let us move on the remaining part of the shloka. What is there actually? Anybody can explain? So what is the example of dictaphone? Somebody can explain why Prabhupada is giving this example and what does it mean? Nobody understood it?
Prabhuji, and here Prabhupada is telling like how the dictaphone he has used in the Lord service, even though that machine was made by a human being, like who may not be the Krishna conscious devotee, but he has we can use those in everything in the service of Lord, and we can tell the things whatever we are using electronics or any uh, for the household activities and all, we can tell those things towards Lord Krishna. We can use them in the service of Lord Krishna, and because they are all coming from Lord Himself only. He is telling everything is depending on my energy. It is whatever the brain, whatever the scientist has used, and the Bhumi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, Akasha, everything what has been is coming from the Lord Himself. So we have to use whatever we have to use them in the service of Lord. Here he is giving the one example as dictaphone. May not be like the person who has invented it, found it, he may not be thought to using in that service of Lord, but Prabhupada has told we can use it. He was using that for Krishna service, so he was quoting that an example. Whatever the material things, whatever we are using, we can still make you we can make use of those things in the service of the Lord, so that we can get purified.
Yes, Mataji. Thanks. So, anybody has any question in this part, or anybody want to add some more points? Everybody understood this paragraph, this topic of like using the dictaphone.
Understood,
Hare,
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
it is the energy which is present in earth, water, fire, air, and sky. The energy present in it which is used. No, Prabhuji?
Uh, so basically, we can say that the material energy of the Lord, right, is
Yes.
manifested in the five forms, the Panchabhutas.
Yes.
So the material energy is manifested because energy generally is something which is not tangible, right?
Yeah.
But actually, the energy is actually manifested to us in the form of Panchabhutas. That is earth, water, air, fire, ether, like that, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, as Nivedana Mataji explained in this paragraph, what actually is mentioned is that Prabhupada is trying to explain the unmanifested part of it, right? So basically, the dictaphone, like everything in this universe, is made up of these five elements, and these five elements is coming from Krishna. No, it is Lord's energy. So Prabhupada is saying that because everything is energy, actually it is meant to be used in service of Krishna, right? So that's what actually the point Prabhupada and Nivedana correctly explained it, right? And then second point will come in the next paragraph, little more elaborate. So somebody can tell what is the next paragraph about Yukta Vairagya. What is Yukta Vairagya? Somebody can tell what it is. This is very important topic actually. Yukta Vairagya. What does it mean? So there are different Vairagyas. Markada Vairagya is also there, or Falgu Vairagya is there. So what is Yukta Vairagya? It's very simply clearly explained. So somebody can try. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam Uchare. So basically, Nivedana Mataji, you know, right? You explain. Can you just explain it a little more this part also? Krishna, Nivedana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
This part is
So
continuation of what you told only.
okay,
What is Yukta Vairagya? Can you explain?
here it is telling that devotees find the correct means by which everything can be utilized in service Lord. Nirbandhan Krishna Samveda Yuktam Vairagya Uchate. The means yukta means the devotee should once will not be disturbed by the uh, by any not getting Prabhuji.
No problem, Mataji. Yeah. We have discussed Yukta
Means
Vairagya is some
maybe
topic we discussed long
unattached
back.
material of
Yeah.
unattached from the material affairs, no Prabhuji.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Whatever the material affairs, whatever we are doing, one should be unattached. That is yukta vairagya,
Yes. So
and do everything in the Krishna consciousness.
yes. What is Vairagya means?
Vairagya means
Detachment, right?
yeah.
Yes. Vairagya means detachment. Yes.
Yeah.
So Vairagya. So basically, what there are two ways of Vairagya. Na? Detachment means it's like one of the way of Vairagya is giving up the things. For example, you can say that okay, no, like I am a simple devotee. I don't need anything actually. I don't need a house. I don't need a car. No, I don't need anything. I don't need computer, laptop, or mobile. Nothing, no, because I'm a simple devotee. That is one of the ways of being thinking that you're a Vairagi. But another way of thinking of vairagi is that, so and see that vairagya, no, is called palgu vairagya, because you are artificially renouncing the thing. See, if you just renounce the thing by itself, it doesn't have much value. That results are very temporary. And but actually, if you use vairagya in the service of Krishna, right, the detachment in the service of Krishna, then actually that is meaningful. Otherwise, actually, just like always, you should remember the root of the tree, right? So the entire existence is the like a tree, and Krishna is the root. So if you just renounce something and no, there is no purpose actually, right? You're doing it for your own satisfaction or whatever reason. Like you are thinking that you want to take some Australian ruins, but if you don't dedicate it to Krishna or your aim is not to make progress in spirituality, then actually that vairagya is not useful. But on the other hand, if you use the things, if you use everything, which actually is called material, so-called materialistic things, in the service of Krishna, then that is the correct understanding, correct vairagya, because everything is energy of Lord, and it has to be utilized in service of Krishna. So if you use in that way, so if you use the things not for your own sense gratification, but you use it for the service of the Lord, then that is also considered that is a correct vairagya. Just giving up artificially is not a, that's called falgu vairagya. So the correct vairagya means that don't utilize the things for your own sense gratification. No, but actually you would use it for service of Krishna. So everything you use for Krishna service will become purified. So that is the idea of Yukta Vairagya. So rather than our idea is not to become a Vairagi, just a Vairagi, but our idea is to become, according to Acharyas, is to become a Yukta Vairagi. So that's what Prabhupada is giving that example. No? So Prabhupada, sometimes many people used to ask Prabhupada this question, or no, they may even criticize Prabhupada. Now also people criticize ISKCON, saying that okay, why ISKCON actually, they are spending so much money, very posh temples are there, why it is required actually? Or no, somebody used to tell that Prabhupada, why are you? Prabhupada is going in very very posh cars, and then he is always like surrounded by so many devotees, opulence is there. So why it is required? A sannyasi, should not have anything. So this is the argument actually. But what Prabhupada is saying that Yukta Vairagya actually means that Prabhupada actually is not using anything for his sense gratification, right? Because everything is belonging to the Lord. The Lord actually has provided everything, right? How actually a temple is built. Now we can see the temple of Vedic Planetarium is building up in coming up in Mayapur, right? It's a very huge project and so much of money is required. And how all the money is coming actually, because it is the Lord's desire, right? It's Lord's energy, Lord's desire. So the Lord actually will make things like miraculous, if he wants to happen. So everything, like all the Pancha Buddhas, everything is Lord's energy. So everything belongs to him, right? Bhuktaram Yadna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Sukritam Sarva Buddhanam Natwamam Shanti Richati. So he is the proprietor of everything. So if you use everything in his service, then that is the best way of utilizing that things, rather than not just saying that renounce. So Prabhupada used to use modern things. He had a typewriter in the beginning at that time. Then he had actually a dictaphone for like recording his Bhagavatam. So because he's old, he doesn't get time, and it's difficult for him to write. So he used to actually record the his purports, Bhaktivedanta purports. Like he will take different acharyas books, and then he will recite actually what has to be written in the dictaphone. And then the devotees actually they actually hear it, and they used to print the books based on that. So he was using the dictaphone, like that microphone, everything. Prabhupada is using all the things in the service of Krishna. So this is should be our mentality. But that we should not kind of misuse it. No, we should not cheat ourselves. No, like just like because you want a new phone, right? You can say, yeah, I will preach. Or no, I want to search like Bhagavad Gita shlokas. That cannot be. No, you should understand. Like you should, your intentions, right? So if it is really for service of Krishna, then it is okay. Then we can do an upgrade of our mobile, or we can do other things also. Actually, as long as we are honest in our this thing. So is that clear? This point. This is a very important point to understand. What is? Anybody has any questions here? Chitra Mataji, do you have any questions?
Prabhuji, understood, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Prabhuji,
Chitra Mataji?
Vairagya means sannyasa only, right? Sannyasi only is called Vairagya, right?
Yeah, Mataji. So it's not necessary that no sannyasi Vairagi is always a sannyasi. Vairagi is one who actually renounces.
Mm.
Or we can also grihastha also can be we can also practice detachment.
Okay.
Yeah, but typically yeah, right, Mataji. So Vairagi, typically the Vairagi is actually becoming detached from material things. That is actually the Vairagi,
Yeah.
or one who is renounces.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Yukta Vairagi is clear, Satyamataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's clear. Thank you.
Social Prabhu?
Yes, yes, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an important topic now. We have to clearly understand, because when we are in the future also, when we are preaching, right, this thing, as this point is very important to understand actually. What is essence, right? I think we have discussed this earlier. Long back we have discussed. So yeah, so if it is clear, that is good. Otherwise, no, we can clarify it if you have any doubts. Okay, now let's move to the next page, next point. Somebody can explain this next point, or I think rather all the remaining 3 points are explained in this paragraph. So we have only covered Utsaha till now. Nishya, Dhairya, Tattat Karma Vartana, Sangatyaga, right? So there are 4 more. No, 5 more are there. Utsaha, Nishya, Dhairya, Tattat Karma Pravartana, Janasangasya Laulyam cha, Sadbir Bhaktir. Correct, no? Utsaha, Nishya, Dhairya, Tattat Karma Pravartana, Janasangasya Laulyam cha, Sadbir Bhaktir. What is Prasidhadi, right?
Prasiddhyati.
Yes. Okay, so we'll let us understand the remaining part. Somebody who would like to explain this paragraph?
Prabhuji, the first point, the activities must be executed with patience. So here, I think our Prabhupada is the best example for patience. Like even though in that old age, he traveled with some amount and with health issues, and he always dependent on Lord Krishna. Even he that time even he struggled a lot to establish this Krishna conscious movement single-handedly. But but earlier he has suffered a lot, and but he with patience he continued to execute this movement to please his Guru Maharaj, and then and later he got succeeded, started building more temples and um, and making other like all the fallen souls, converting them to making them Krishna consciousness. I think this patience, I, this is the patience can be learned from Prabhupada. We should be patient always. We should not be impatient. Like if you are not able to progress, and we should make our endure continuously with enthusiastic, and one day definitely we'll be succeed.
Yeah. So because this topic has 2 parts, so in this first part, actually, they are only talking about Utsaha and Nishya
Yeah.
and Dhairya. Okay, Utsaha, Nishya, Dhairya. So Nishya actually is mentioned with endeavoring with confidence. So generally, Nishya means like determination, right? Like like have a strong determination. So to have a determination, you have to have confidence. So what Prabhupada is saying, confidence is not the confidence in ourselves, but a confidence in Krishna or the process, right? So Nishya means actually, see, if you have completely have full faith in the in the process, of Krishna consciousness or bhakti, then actually you will have the you will get the determination to do it, right? Otherwise, if you don't have the faith or conviction, then will not have the determination to it. So first is Utsaha, means enthusiasm. Next is Nishya, that determination to execute devotion service. Whatever happens, no, I will not leave this process because I am convinced fully. I'm having full confidence that this is the only process by which I can attain the highest process. So that is a Nishya, and the idea is what is explained here, no, patience. So patience is like yeah, Mataji, you explained already, no. Prabhupada's example is there. Like Prabhupada, like anybody else would have in Prabhupada's place, they would have given up long back. Because Prabhupada actually got instruction when he was in the 30s. He's got instruction from spiritual master when very young age, right? It's Bhaktivedanta Saraswati. The first time we met, only he told that, no, you are an educated person, man. You are in English. Why don't you go to the Western countries and preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That's what actually is instruction he got. Then actually, he was householder, and then Prabhupada actually he was trying all the time. He was thinking about the instruction, how to fulfill it, but he was not having any idea how to do it. Right? So he had attempted various things, no, but and finally, he was like after retirement, no, he was already old. Actually, he was living in Vrindavan, Radha Damodar temple. He was living, like just like an ascetic. He was living there without any family. He has left a family, and then still he was struggling so much actually without nobody to help. He was on single-handedly trying to do everything because nobody actually was ready to help. He actually reached out to his god brothers, but everybody was kind of thinking that no, it is not possible like to go to the Western countries and preach because earlier they made some attempts and they could not succeed actually. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati, some of the disciples went to British, Britain actually, and then but they were not successful. So nobody was supporting him when I was living in Vrindavan, in a very 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 meager way actually with taking very less food, and all the time he was translating Bhagavatam, and then he was printing the Back to Godhead magazine, so he could not find out how we can spread the message. So he actually single-handedly started creating this book. Everything he was doing, he was only writing the book, he was only getting it printed, and he was only the only salesman. He was actually, he was everything. He was a writer, author, he was a publisher, he was also a salesman. And you can imagine in his old age, right, he actually is going to from Vrindavan to Delhi, right. Frequently he travels, and then there he was going house to house, shop to shop, trying to sell his Back to Godhead magazine, and he was not getting any success actually. He was struggling so much. So normally anybody would have given up, right? So Prabhupada did not give up because he was having the faith in Krishna and the spiritual master's instruction. So he kept on endeavoring with patience. So that patience is very important actually. So we should not think that, oh, like, okay, I took up Krishna consciousness, so now all my problems should be solved. I should not have any worry. I should be completely blissful in day one only. Like that. That is too much to ask for, right? Because everything takes time, and we have so much of contamination that it is not easy to become pure in one day, right? Unless until like some pure devotee completely becomes merciful to us. But generally, we have to have patience. That is what another important quality which is required for success in devotional service. If you don't have patience, then what will happen? Somebody can tell. If you don't have patience, somebody took up devotional service and is not having patience, what could be the result?
Prabhuji, he may give up.
Yes, exactly.
There'll be a stop in his devotional service because he says, okay, nothing is happening, let me forget about it. That may be the case.
Correct. Yes, Mataji, very right, very true. That's what, see, anything which actually has to success now, where there is a lot of competition, one who persevere, right, they will succeed actually, right? But many people will give up in the path, right? No, so then whoever is giving up actually, they cannot succeed. So we need to have the patience, to continue, and that perseverance is required. Even if there may be setbacks, also still we should have the faith in the spiritual master acharyas and continue endeavoring. So maybe there may be tests, in the spiritual life. So the Lord actually ultimately, the Lord actually doesn't want somebody who actually is immature, right, or not completely purified to go back to spiritual world, because the material world is created, it's a machinery, right, created like just like a jail. It is a refinement place. So in material world actually, things may not be happening properly because there is corruption and so many but generally the in an ideal kingdom, a person has to be reformed. The idea of sending to jail is not just to punish, to reform the person. So the person is not reformed, then there is no point in bringing back to the people, right? Then again, he'll create disturbance. So, the material energy or Maya is actually entrusted with this thankless job. So she will ensure that no, you are really ready or qualified. So people with very little faith, or no, they don't have the enough qualification, they will fail the test. That's why we see so many people come to temple, may attend the program, but like gradually people drop out. Actually, only few people remain in the end. So that this is also part of the we can say that Maya's test actually. But this is only the first test. No, Maya will give us many tests. When we become more serious, also Maya will keep testing us by different ways. So we can only take shelter of the of the pure devotees of the Lord, of the acharyas, right? And by their mercy, only we will be protected in our path. We can do our all these things. So acharyas are telling what are the qualities which are required. But nevertheless, ultimately we are all depending on the mercy of the Lord and His pure devotees. So by our endeavor, it is very difficult to achieve what is required. So that's why we should actually depend on acharyas, follow their instructions. So we can get the mercy of the acharyas by following their instructions, right? So that way we can get their mercy, and by that mercy we can become successful in our devotional life. Avashya Raksha Krishna, right? That actually that confidence, that faith should be there. Krishna will surely protect me and give me help. Success of execution devotion. This is called confidence. Okay, devotees, any questions? Is it clear this point? Anybody has any want to add some more points to this?
Prabhuji,
Hmm?
you will automatically be patient if you have confidence, no, Prabhuji. If you're confident that God is there at the end of the day, He's always there to protect you, you'll automatically be patient, no? You'll wait. You will say, definitely God is around the corner. He has promised. He says, surrender unto me, I will protect you. So that if you have confidence about that,
Yes.
that you will automatically have patience.
Yes,
You'll
Mataji.
keep on endeavoring, you'll keep on thing, because you are confident that God is there to protect you and guide you and help you.
That's true, Mataji. So
Yes.
that's what actually see. But the thing is that people have different nature, na? So some people, if you look now, they are inherently impatient. they're very impatient actually. When some people they have more patience. So the patience level we can see in our family members, there is a variation actually, even in the materialistic. So because of our past karma, right? Everybody comes with a particular kind of nature, and then so due to that reason, some people maybe naturally they will be impatient. So this patience is definitely a quality which is has to be achieved. Otherwise, no, if you're impatient, it's not going to succeed. So some people may take time over the period by various experience, no, in their life they become patient. So somebody is already patient, they may not understand the value of patience because they may think that it is they will take it for granted. Oh, what is the big deal? Yeah. So what you told is right, Mataji. So if you have faith, then no, everything else will automatically happen, right? Even enthusiasm will also will come, and all these qualities will develop if you have full faith in Krishna. But patience, sometimes patience, is not easy to come by, right? So you can see, like some small children, right? They are very impatient. They cannot sit in one place for some time. Like if they want something immediately, they want it. That kind of thing, right? So yeah. So but it's not easy to come by sometimes patience also. Okay. So good, Mataji. So that's nice point. Anybody else? Any points want to add or any questions? Maybe these two questions somebody can answer. Application. Share your experience as to how patience in Krishna consciousness has helped you. Anybody want to share their experience here? Satyam Mataji, Niveda Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I mean, it has helped me to accept things, Prabhuji. Maybe with acceptance, patience comes, no?
Mm-hmm. Okay. You want to any particular incidents or some
No,
experience you want to share here?
I was just, no, Prabhuji, previously you were very impatient to do everything. Why is it not happening? You know, put
Mm-hmm.
in so much effort, nothing came out. But now we've learned so much about our past karma and prarabdha karma and all that. And maybe that's why the efforts were put in but didn't bear fruit because we had to make up for something else, you know,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
way. Now, at one time, at that point of time, you're bitter, you put in so much effort, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Everything went to somebody else, all the effort which you put in. This
Mm-hmm.
was at work,
Yeah.
But now, see, it was just, I had to do it. That's all.
Yes, Mataji.
That's how it is, Prabhuji.
Yep. The material world is like that only, no? So material world, because we know that the design is to create frustration only, right? So in like for nobody, like no, it's like hardly anybody will have a life, no, where everything is perfect and successful, right? Because this is not designed like that. So invariably, everybody will have, no, like testing situations. Things will not work as expected because first of all, our expectation is not right, right? What are we expecting? No, we want to be successful in this life, right? That's expectation of everybody. So yeah, things are misplaced actually. That's why things this place is not meant for this. But now, yeah, actually. So that's what if you when we become a devotee, then actually we can see it will benefit both our material life and spiritual life. That's what actually what I understood from your point, right, Mataji? So you can also understand the material, our life, like how it is going, and how to face the life or how to take things as it comes.
Yes, Prabhuji. That's definite.
Yes,
That's what, no, we should have all, I suppose for everyone, the time has to come, no, to come to Krishna consciousness. It's like
yes,
that.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Right, Mataji. Thanks. Okay, so this one, anybody want to take? Share an instance when your confidence in the Lord was tested. Were you happy the way you dependent upon the mercy of the Lord? Could you have done it better? Anybody has any experience here? Like maybe another way of putting it is that did you have any situation in your life where you became or you actually remembered the Lord, no, and then you try to be dependent on Him, or you try to surrender to Him, or you try to become like dependent on the Lord. That way also, if any incidents is that you can try to share. Mataji, Sushil Prabhu, do you want to share? You have anything that comes to mind?
Prabhuji, I don't know. Actually, I understood the question, but for me, I feel helpless every moment, Prabhuji, and I depend on Lord Krishna every time. Every moment I depend on Him. While wake up, while sleeping, yeah, and yeah, if something comes good, also I will be praying for God only. If bad happening, also I will go under His shelter. Yeah.
Oh, great. So you're already on the path of perfection.
No, no, Prabhuji, I am totally helpless. I don't know anything. That
If
is the
if
reason.
you are able to become dependent on Krishna, then that is the success of devotional life. It,
Yeah.
that definitely is a very good thing to happen if you can. If you're able to. So basically, that means that you're able to remember the Lord, right, in all the situation, good or bad.
Yes,
That
Prabhuji.
definitely, that's very, very nice.
If
Anybody
something,
else?
yeah, if something good happens, also I feel to chant more that day.
Okay.
Definitely for bad things, though, definitely will remember Lord.
Very nice.
Yeah.
There's a slogan in of Kabir ka doha na. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे सुख में करे न कोई. What is that? अगर सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे होए. Anybody has heard it? Satyamadaji, you know the meaning, na?
Prabhuji, Chitra Mataji will be the best person for this.
Okay. We have studied in school actually this Kabir ka
Yeah.
doha, na? I don't know
I
whether
was
you.
very bad at all that, Prabhuji. I just wasn't good at all in that.
Satyamadaji, you can tell the sloka have you heard?
I didn't hear the sloka, Prabhuji, but if you can tell again, maybe
दुख
I'll
में
be.
दुख में सुमिरन सब कराई सुख में कराए न कोई. अगर
Okay.
दुख में
So
सुमिरन कराए तो दुख काहे होए.
okay. First two words lines is in the times of distress we always think of God, but how many people think of God when you are happy, when you are prospering or happy? That is the first two words, Prabhuji. Now you can tell me the next part.
अगर सुख में सुमिरन कराई तो दुख काहे होए.
Oh, so if you are thankful to God in your good times, where will the bad times come? You don't have to worry about the bad times.
Yes. So this
Correct,
is
Prabhuji?
yes, right, Mataji. So this is Kabir Das. No, you are also a devotee. This sloka actually. When you mentioned this particular thing, na, like remembering the Lord in good times and bad times, I just remembered that actually. Okay. Anybody else want to share anything before we move on?
So, Prabhuji, actually, in short, accept. Whatever comes your way, accept it as the will of the Lord.
Yes, right, Mataji. It is not easy to do that, but no, if you're able to do that, then I think we will not have worries. Basically, then we are depending on the Lord, right? Depending on the mercy of the Lord. First of all, we are depending on the will of the Lord, and then after that, we should depend on the mercy of the Lord also. So, we can't do anything. Like Mataji was saying, no, if you're helpless, like you know that okay, this is will of Lord, but actually it is very difficult to pass through that situation. Then you have to depend on the Lord actually, like that. Completely depend, take shelter of the Lord. That's what actually is required. Then I think we will not have any difficulty. So sometimes it is very difficult, to practice it because when some problem really comes, we will forget about all these things. So for example, suddenly, like let's say we'll become so much disturbed, right? So suddenly we get some disease, right? Then everything will go for a toss. Like we'll start keep on worrying about that, what will happen, kind of thing, right? So till that time, everything is okay. Now everything is good. Like consciousness is okay. We are able to think like this. But suddenly something happens in our life, right? Which is suddenly like a jolt or something. Then all these things we may not be able to remember at that time. So, but then if we are practicing it on a regular basis, then I think we will gradually be able to do that. So that is actually the importance of like following the instructions and practicing the devotions of use. Okay, good.
But Prabhuji,
Mm.
now he's making me feel so guilty about my actions sometimes. Lord,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really telling you, It makes me sit and think 10 times, why did I do like this? Why did I do like that?
You are talking about activities which has happened in the recent past
Yeah,
or somewhere in the
recent,
distant past.
recent, recent past, what to say.
Okay, okay.
That way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Mataji. Yeah. So everybody will go through some experience, no? Like it's a learning, it's a journey. Okay, somebody can read. Now, have you read Namamrita already, Nivedha Mataji, before chanting?
No, no, Prabhuji.
Okay, then somebody can read.
Prabhuji, I'll read.
Yes, Mataji. Thanks.
Krishna conscious householders should hold Sankirtana festivals in their homes by distributing prasad, talking about Krishna, and holding congregational chanting of the holy name. Advaita Acharya set an example, ideal example for all householder devotees in his receiving of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, and in his execution of a daily festival at his home. If one has the proper means and wealth, he should occasionally invite the devotees of Lord Chaitanya who are engaged in preaching all over the world and hold a festival at home simply by distributing prasad and talking about Krishna during the day and holding congregational chanting for at least 3 hours in the evening. This procedure must be adopted in all centers of the Krishna conscious movement. Thus, they will daily perform Sankirtan Yagna. In Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32, the daily performance of Sankirtan Yagna is recommended for this age. यज्ञ संकीर्तना प्रयेर यजन्ति ही सुमेर दसः. One should worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his four associates, the Panchatattva, by distributing prasad and holding congregational chanting. Indeed, that yagna or sacrifice is most recommended in the age of Kali. In this age, other yagnas are not possible to perform, but this yagna can be performed everywhere and anywhere without difficulty. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 3.2.203. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here actually what Prabhupada is talking about is uh, like basically making the house like a temple or a center, right? That's what Prabhupada is saying. He's giving the example of Advaita Acharya. Similarly, Srivas Thakur, right? Srivas Thakur also is another example. Srivas Thakur house, like now all the devotees used to meet every day in the evening, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also come, and then they used to do kirtana. Okay, so what do you think devotees actually? Why it is important to invite devotees to our house and do programs regularly? What are the benefits? Anybody want to try? Some benefits are very obvious. You can easily tell. Or do you think it is not required?
You get like-minded people now, Prabhuji, slowly.
Yes, that is one thing. What is benefit for us actually? What is the biggest benefit for us?
We are pleasing the Lord, no, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, that is
It's a
true.
form of preaching.
Yes. But as far as our transformation is concerned, right? How does it help? Any idea? Basically, this kind of program, not doing at home, will actually bring transformation to us and also our family members. Anybody has any idea? Like, no, I think I can try thinking about it. Like, how does it benefit? What are the difficulties? Like, or what are our, some of the anarthas we have? So I could put it another way. So like let's say tomorrow, like if I tell that I want to host a program in Satyam Mataji's house, or let's say no Nivedita Mataji's house, or let's say Chitra Mataji's house. So do you have any difficulty? Any inhibition is there? Satyam Mataji, yeah, like right now I know that you stay with your
Yeah.
son, but actually let's say even if you're staying, let's say you had your own house, still no, I don't know. At least for me, I can tell that I was in the beginning very reluctant actually. So I don't know whether others also feel like that. Because see, what actually happens is that we have anarthas. Everybody has anarthas. For example, no, we think that okay, house is my private space, no? And no, I want to do many things here. Or people come and see what happens. No, they will come to know this thing is that thing is there. It's like that. We have many thoughts. right? Or maybe one, my relatives may not be favorable. My, whatever, my husband is not favorable, or my son is not favorable. So many thoughts goes through us, pass through us, right? So the thing is that see, some point of time, no, we have to understand what are our anarthas. Understand until, see, when we have possessiveness, right? We think that okay, this is my house. No, and let's say many time programs, when you do program, no, many children will come and then they may spoil the house, and they may do some things here and there. They may pull something and break it. So many things can happen actually, or the paint may get spoiled. So when as long as we are in the possessive nature, not thinking that okay, I am the owner of the house, this is my property, right? That kind of mentality is actually, is a false ego, is associated false ego. It is not a good quality for us. So when will you become humble? Actually, when we think that okay, no, this by Lord's mercy I have got this house somehow, right? And now I have it. Tomorrow, it may be somebody else's. So it's a temporary thing. So if I'm utilizing this house, see, anyway, we have to give up everything, right? Not only house is only one thing, but everything we have to give up. In this body also we have to give up. So everything is temporary. So when we conduct programs at our house, gradually, we develop that humility and selfless nature. Thinking gradually we'll become detached from these things. Otherwise, we are very attached and possessive about the things. Each and everything. Some people may be very possessive. Like even if a particular thing, if it is moved from one place to another in the house, they will not like it. So these are all anarthas actually. So but gradually, when we open the house to all the devotees, right? Every time devotees are coming, they're doing kirtan. So many things. So our patience also will increase. Like our tolerance will increase. We'll become more accommodative, and gradually, we become detached. Slowly, we'll get so like that. Actually, then our life become like an open page. As long as we have a private kind of thing, then actually that means that we are having anarthas, right? There's actually we should finally some point of time we should come to a situation where we don't have anything private, in the sense, no, like because I see, as long as we are thinking private, that means that no, we are still in the material bodily platform. No, we are not purified actually, because ultimately when you are entering the spiritual world, you don't have anything private, right? You are just servant of the Lord, and all these people, so-called people who are around you, they are all just there actually by karma. They are not in anybody of you, right? In the sense, we cannot generally take anybody with you. Just like that, no, he's my husband or something. You can't say, because this husband was somebody else's wife, some the previous birth, or no, we don't even know actually. No, it can be some any other living entity. So these things, we though we theoretically talk, when we try and want to realize it, no, then we have to practice it different by different ways. We should try to do renunciation, right? So these things actually something, we learn over the period of time. In the beginning, we just look at it as a material activity. Somebody asks, okay, can you host the program? Okay, we'll try to avoid actually saying that, no, some reason I'll tell, oh, children's exam is coming now, or no, like he is having some office work, some whatever it is, because we are not really open or ready. But gradually that has to happen. Now, like, for example, when we go for a yatra, to some extent this happens. Our anarthas will come out also, right? Because sometimes if you are completely in your house, now your anarthas are hidden. Others cannot know what it is. But actually, if you are a person without duplicity, then no, you have nothing to hide actually. Sooner or later, it will has to come out. So we have to really be, that's what actually we are exposing ourselves, right? But sometimes, of course, there will be constraints, no? Like when you are depending on somebody else and things like that, it may be difficult to do it. But I know some point of time we have to give up all the anarthas which you are having. We may have small anarthas, it may be small, big, whatever it is. But ultimately, end of the day, we cannot have any anarthas actually if you want to go back to spiritual world. So these are all different ways that we can purify. Any questions, devotees? Is it clear? Or somebody doesn't agree?
So anarthas are, that means the negative aspects, no, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Anartha means something which is not anartha, it doesn't have value or artha. Right? Artha means something meaningful, and anartha means doesn't have value. So we think that no, these are valuable, but actually in reality it doesn't have any, like from a spiritual perspective, these things doesn't have any value. So anarthas can be anything. Anarthas can be generally, they can be unwanted material attachments or anarthas. The attachment could be even to your ego also, no? Like for example, you have a position, right? And you are always worrying that okay, what will happen, what others think about me. That is also an anartha. You don't have to think really. Somebody is, like somebody is a pure devotee, you will not think like that. Like let's say Rupa and Sanatana was there, right? Rupa Sanatana, they were actually ministers in the kingdom, but when they become like simple mendicants, no, they gave up everything. They were wearing torn clothes, living under a tree. So what happened to there? So if you are a person with anartha, then you will not be ready to give up that things, no? Because my position in society is important. So these are all, everything is anartha actually. This is not having any real value, but we are concocting some value because based on the social customs and the environment which you are born. So anything like that, anything can be an anartha. Beyond, like, you are attached to the every day, you have to drink tea in the morning, and without tea, like, let's say you cannot go to the toilet, for example. So that is also an anartha. Like, so all these attachments, like, it can be materialist things, or it can be like, subtle things. So all these unwanted things, I want to only sleep in that particular bed, or I want a particular pillow, right? Or I want all this kind of, so many requirements are there, right? These are all anarthas. So ideally we should be able to live in any conditions, any given condition. We should be happy to live in that. So all these things can be anarthas, Mataji.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, but very difficult to give up tea and coffee. Trying.
You can try this herbal tea. Did you try herbal tea?
Yes, Prabhuji, I've got it. I've started now past 3-4 days.
Yeah, that you can continue
From the
till.
center, no? We got it from the center. It was lying all this time, more than a year.
You can get it in Amazon. You can order online also, that one.
Okay, that herbal tea, no?
Yeah.
And I'm having that in the evening now.
Yeah, that's what actually you can give up something only by taking something else. Now, initially we can't completely give up, so we can do that small transition.
Yes. Trying, Prabhuji. What to say?
Yeah. They say old habits die hard. Okay. Now, last part, preaching is essence. Who would like to read? Sushil Bro, would you like to try?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Guruji, sure. Preaching is the essence. Performing daily rituals of devotional service is not enough. One must preach, and in such preaching, not be concerned for success or failure. The favorable conditions for discharging devotional service are that one should be very enthusiastic in serving the Lord. The Lord, in his form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wanted the cult of devotional service to the Lord to be preached all over the world, in, in every nook and corner. And therefore, a pure devotee's duty is to discharge this order as far as possible. Every devotee should be very enthusiastic, not only in performing his daily rituals of devotional service, but in trying to preach the cult peacefully by following the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. If he is not superficially successful in such an attempt, he should not be deterred from the discharge of his duty. Success or failure has no meaning for the pure devotee because he is soldier in the field. Preaching the cult of devotional service is something like declaring war against materialistic life. A devotee should see to the right discharge of devotional service under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master and should not stick only to the formalities. Under the direction of bona fide spiritual master, one should see how much service is being executed and not simply in the matter of rituals. Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, 8 chapter, 21st sloka.
Thanks,
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Guruji. Yeah.
Prabhuji, can you summarize?
Yeah. So we perform our daily rituals without. I mean, yeah. This is actually as per the Prabhupada's guidance. Actually, we should follow our daily rituals uh, without having any fear or any inclination of success or failure uh, in in mind. Actually, we should follow it very enthusiastically. These all our rituals and the preaching because the uh, preaching is very important.
Yeah, what Prabhupada is saying is that it is not enough that you become enthusiastic in doing the daily activities, but preaching is very important actually. So you have to preach. So even if you are doing all the regulative sadhana bhakti enthusiastically, that alone is not sufficient, right? To get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what you have to do?
Yeah, that's what to get
You
the
have to
mercy of
preach.
we have to
Hmm.
preach. Yeah.
Yes, so that's the preaching is essence. That's the point, right? And he's telling that Prabhupada is saying that no, while preaching, we should not be worried whether you will be successful or failure. So here actually this is also an anartha. See, the attachment to success, right? Or no, like the fear of failure. This is also an anartha because actually because we are egoistic, we cannot afford to fail. We don't want to fail, right? But actually, a humble devotee's mood is that no, he doesn't bother actually whether he is successful or failure. So this is very advanced stage, right? It is not easy to achieve. So, but actually that is what actually is wanted. Finally, we should not be attached to the results in the sense, not like in that way. Here, when we are see basically, if you are completely depending on Krishna, then everything we think that it is Lord's desire, right? We do our part best, and then we don't worry about whether it's successful or failure. So if you become sorry when you fail, or no, like let's say we cannot make many devotees, and if you become, then actually what it means is that you have some anartha still, right? So it is not easy to come to that stage, right? But actually that is what is wanted ultimately. Okay, but what, yeah, so that I'm just added the previous point here. But what Prabhupada is essentially saying is that we should not be selfish, like that I do my sadhana very nicely, but I don't care about other devotees. No, I don't bother. Like I just want to become perfect. That's all. So then, in that mood, if you have, no, then actually it will be difficult to get mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood is that no, he want to spread this to everybody. He has told the instruction directly, right? Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Whoever you meet, tell about Krishna. And then no, he's saying that in every town and village, you want the holy names, will be propagated. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful incarnation of the Krishna, especially in Kali Yuga. He has come like this, and he want to give it very freely. So if you just become part of the Sankirtana movement of the Lord and honestly endeavor without duplicity, right, and to do some small preaching, whatever is possible in our capacity, that kind of preaching, at least if you try, then it's very easy to get His mercy. And with His mercy, we can easily become successful in devotional life. That's what actually essence is. Any questions, devotees?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, devotees. Then I think, yeah, then we are at the end of the session. If nothing more, then actually we can again meet next week. Okay, before we leave, anybody want to do the what I call what is that word? Facilitate the next session. So we'll be continuing the same topic, second part of the same shloka, accepting things favorable for devotional service, part 2. You have only 3 more chances actually to facilitate. Okay, nobody wants. Fine. Let us see. Now, at least next 2 sessions somebody has to plan. Okay, next one I'll take. Okay, one small thing we have to see is that now it is 9th, right? Next week is 16th. Yeah, that's okay. I think after that next week, Satyamataji will be traveling, right? 23rd.
I'm leaving on 18th itself, Prabhuji.
Okay, so but they are 21st. They are going. The rest of the people.
There, yes, Prabhuji. I'm going to Delhi to my sister's house, Prabhuji.
Okay, then you'll stay there for a few days.
Yes,
Then you'll go.
Prabhuji. Yes, yes. I'll meet them at the airport or wherever we are supposed to meet.
Okay, okay. Yeah, but
I'm
nevertheless.
coming back with them.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so next week 16th we have. Then yeah, we have some more time. Okay. Okay, then thanks devotees for joining, and no, we'll meet next week. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.